The Lake District was famously home to the English romantic William Wordsworth, who captured its magnificence in many of his poems. Majesty and beauty and repose, he wrote of the lakes, a blended holiness of earth and sky. To fully appreciate this symbiotic relationship, we went to meet a man with perhaps even more appreciation for nature than Wordsworth himself. Ben McNutt, a survivalist expert and former pupil of another great, Ray Mears, was about to teach us how to live off this abundant land.
We're going foraging in the middle of the Lake District. What sort of stuff are we going to be able to find today?
Well, primarily mushrooms, and then I've got some bunnies and some pigeons. So my plan is to make a game pie.
A game pie?
Yeah.
The closest I've come to foraging is sort of digging about my fridge at about 3 in the morning when I know there's nothing there. That's about as close I've gone to hunting and gathering. I feel like I'm at home, basically. I feel like I've returned to nature.
We've always foraged as a species. Pre-agriculture, we were foraging 100% of the time. Right, let's start looking for mushrooms. So, in the world of foraging, you can legally go for the 4 Fs, which are fungi, fruit, foliage, and flowers. So without further ado, check out these funky little guys. They are called amethyst deceivers.
How well do you need to know your mushrooms and your fungi in order to be able to eat them?
Everything's edible, but sometimes only once. Just bear that in mind. There are no rules with mushrooms. The only rule would be if in doubt, leave it out, because there is no coming back if you get it wrong.
They can be lethal?
Yep.
Wow. But these ones are good?
Yep, and these are particularly good with pigeon, which is what we have coming up soon. So let's grab a bunch of those as we see them appear.
What's this guy?
I'm pretty certain that that is a mushroom called plums and custard.
Plums and custard?
Which is toxic.
That's toxic?
Yeah.
It looks toxic?
Yeah, don't mess with mushrooms. This particular species is a russula. This is the Russula ocraluca, or yellow swamp russula. And the stem, or stipe in fungi terms, will crumble like Wensleydale, like chalky cheese.
Oh, wow.
They're not spectacularly gastronomic, but none of them will do you any harm at all. And this is one of the main quarry of the fungal hunter, and this is the chanterelle. This ranks as one of my favourites.
Why haven't these been cultivated kind of commercially?
Many species of wild mushroom have a symbiotic relationship with different species of tree, so it becomes particularly difficult to try and grow fungi with live trees in that perfect habitat.
That's enormous.
This is the Boletus edulis, or the penny bun, as we used to call it, or these days we call it a cep, the French name, or porcini, which is the Italian.
And these are quite common on menus around the world, aren't they?
Yeah, these are incredibly sought after. This is probably, next to the truffle, this would be wild mushroom number 1 that we have on offer in the UK. This grows exclusively on beech trees, and this is called the porcelain fungus, or poached egg fungus. And this is lovely because you can see the light coming through that. And I think that will probably do us with a reasonable little basket of mushrooms to go at. So now we need some meat. Next thing to do will be light a fire, so we have an established ember bed to go to. Then it would make sense to make our pastry before we get covered in raw meat. This is a very quick and dirty backwards pastry. Job done, final job. Meat.
The meat.
The meat was rabbit and pigeon, killed freshly that morning by a local farmer.
What sort of pigeon is this?
It's a straight up wood pigeon.
Straight wood pigeon.
Who's fed on a diet of farmer's crop as opposed to cheesy wotsits and vomit. You're gonna love this.
I'm not gonna love it.
Step 1, feel the neck.
You sure it's dead?
100%. Okay, head comes off. Good, head in the bag, and make it do backstroke. And it should pop off. That sound's called crepitus, the sound of grinding bones. Good. We affectionately call this the rip and flip. So you got rip, and then here comes the flip,
Wow.
and it neatly peels itself, and that's it. Perfect.
I once had a rabbit called Michael.
So step one, pop through, get fingers well out of the equation, and cut up and out. Hand down the back of his trousers, up the back of his shirt, and pull.
Come on, get your fucking trousers off.
But you say that to all the rabbits.
Can you just pull that end?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Good. And let's get the head off. And away it comes. Screw him up north.
And there you have it.
So I usually chuck in a cup of soup.
Cup of soup.
Purely because when I'm backpacking, I usually have one or two of these kicking around. Drop your pie directly on the embers. That will probably take in the region of half an hour.
To pass the time as the pie's baked, we stomped to the top of the hill to whet our appetites on the incredible scenery.
It's just absolutely amazing. You could be anywhere in the entire world, but at the same time there is something so British about this. I'm basically speechless. Let's see what it is. Wow. It's good, that, isn't it?
Awesome. And pop them on there.
Look at that. I think there's anything more northern than this pie.
Well, if you add a ferret to it, maybe.
The moment of truth. This pie smells incredibly good as well. It's not even that it's just like a pie made in the woods and that's the gimmick.
It's going to be hot.
Oh my god. That's so tasty. They're absolutely delicious, those mushrooms, aren't they? It's possibly the most organic thing I've ever eaten. Thank you so much for showing me that.
No problem. See more people eat wild food.
What do you want?